Good Tuesday to you. Not so good weather-wise, but thank you for being here nonetheless. This 23rd day of May, where we are starting off on what's going to be an unsettled pattern throughout most all of your forecasts. The only bright spot is a little bit of a gap on Friday, which is going to be pretty nice. It's going to be really nice, but bookended by showers and thunderstorms and a lot of rainfall on top of a lot of very well saturated ground thus far. We'll talk about the setup and how it's already begun. How so far, as of right now, it's not called off district tournament games for tonight at Johnson Central for baseball, but we'll go into that in much more detail with highlights from last night's softball first round games and some other details. But right now, they were still planning on playing tonight. You've got to get those district tournament games in one way or the other, and they're having to dodge or work around some rainfall tonight. There has been a plea bargain reached. I spoke with Floyd County Commonwealth's attorney, Brent Turner, earlier. You'll hear the conversation in regards to that terribly violent home invasion at Orville and Hazel Adams' residence back in 2014. I'll break that story to you in just a few moments. I've got a track and field star to acknowledge tonight. We've got welding students to acknowledge and thank as well. I'll show you why. The Johnson County Board of Education met last night out and ahead of the regular session falling last night, mind you, but ahead of today's vote on the nickel school tax. And a lot of other news and headlines. A big show tonight, as is, it seems as though, always the case here on Your News Today. I do have a little good news to start off the program tonight. You might recall myself mentioning the fact of many grants that were available. Well, now they're being awarded. And the recipients are, per the Magoffin County Board of ASAP, as follows. The local board for Kentucky Agency for the local board for Kentucky Agency for Substance Abuse Policy. That's why they call it ASAP. And Unite is excited to announce and recognize and support the following partners for their efforts to address substance use disorder prevention and treatment to fill targeted gaps in Magoffin County. With all that said, they were $500 mini grants, I do believe. $525 going to the Magoffin County High School's chapter of Champions Against Drugs, awarded to support a substance abuse prevention activity celebration media awareness project during project graduation this Friday night. Reaching Every Addict with Christ's Help, the faith-based organization, was awarded $500 to help support project graduation as well. Magoffin County Teen Coalition awarded $500 to support basic need and supplies for the Drug Endangered Child Safe Transitions Project. Mountain Comprehensive Care awarded $500 to support their Summer Fun Youth Camp, as well as the Magoffin County Drug Court awarded $500 for special events for drug court participants and their families, plus another $279 for program educational supplies. They appreciate all agencies and volunteers that continue to assist them with their work and help prevent substance abuse in Magoffin County and support families to live above the influence of alcohol and drugs. Congratulations to everyone. I spoke earlier today, as you are about to hear, with Commonwealth's Attorney Brent Turner. He was set to go to trial in about 2 weeks. However, a plea agreement reached yesterday where two men will now plead guilty to 2 robberies in Floyd County and Pike County. Includes a violent home invasion just across the Magoffin-Floyd County line back in 2014 that we have covered since. One being the violent home invasion of Hazel and Orville Adams, who were bound together by duct tape in their kitchen and threatened with their life for hours as 2 men held them at gunpoint, pointing guns to their heads, one putting a gun in Orville's mouth as they robbed and ransacked their house in September of 2014 after they had knocked on the Adams' door at 5 a.m. that morning pretending to need help, and then forcing their way inside. Later, a fingerprint on one piece of tape that they used to restrain the Adamses and a lot of detective work by the Kentucky State Police would identify the 2 men who would have committed another home invasion/robbery before getting caught, with one of them, Tanner Spears, getting shot by that homeowner in the second case.
Even though both sides were busy preparing for trial over the last month and a half or so, those plea negotiations continued and resulted in an agreement just yesterday, actually, wherein both defendants are going to plead guilty to the 2 Floyd County robberies, of course, including the robbery out toward the Parkway of the elderly victims, Orville and Hazel Adams, as well as pleading to unlawful imprisonment for the restraint of the victims during both of those robberies. And in exchange for those guilty pleas, we are recommending a 15-year prison sentence for each defendant. And the way it will be structured is that they will have to serve 10 years of that, and then the remaining 5 years of the sentence will be probated for a period of 5 years, which means that once they do ever get out after the 10 years, they will have 5 more years of prison time hanging over their head, and hopefully it will encourage them not to get back into trouble, and also would provide protection to the victims, because there'll be a no contact order in there that they can't be around the victims or have anything to do with them, should that ever become an issue with the threat of 5 additional years of prison. And if they don't straighten up and they continue to do the things that they've done in the past once they're released, then they'll end up serving the whole 15 years probably.
As for Weddington, he is still held in the Pike County Detention Center, where he has been jailed since December the 5th of 2014. Spears was taken to a medical jail after he was shot in that second home invasion, and I believe has since been most recently transferred to the prison in West Liberty. As for the Adamses, this will undoubtedly give them great closure. However, they are still hopeful and getting some information or details that may lead to the arrest of the second robbery at their home. As I reported to you just this past January the 23rd, they came home from church on a Sunday to find that someone, still unidentified, had broken into their home and stolen several thousands of dollars worth of items, some of them that they had just replaced from the first robbery and home invasion. And before I close this report, I need to go back to Tanner Spears, who was being held at LaGrange, I believe, and as I said, possibly now in West Liberty. Nevertheless, he is serving out the remainder of a state sentence. He was on parole, and that was revoked for the case in which he robbed, or was a part of the two that robbed, of course, the Adamses. He now has several years to spend on that first sentence that he was out on parole on, and then the 10 to 15 years that he has been sentenced to or will agree to in court during formal sentencing will begin thereafter. More news in a second. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Last night's regular session of the Johnson County Board of Education fell the night before, as the calendar would have it. Johnson County voters went to the polls today, those that turned out to vote on the nickel tax, which was referred to towards the close of the meeting last night by Board Chairman Bob Hutchinson. Before that, some other items in business on the agenda to be covered. Much of the approximate half-hour meeting referred to a renovation report centering around primarily the middle school and central elementary. Architects and engineers went over the energy savings contract as it relates to the architectural designs, and many of those projects funded by the anticipated and expected energy savings that the school will see after these projects, or at least some of them, are completed. Middle school restrooms, central elementary pod classrooms turned into individual classroom units, replacing the coal boilers in the school district to natural gas at all the schools with the exception of Flat Gap, which will be switched over to propane, LED lighting upgrades, and other projects to all save money. The summer feeding program started off yesterday at 6th Street, Harry Van Hoos Apartments, as well as in Thelma. Very successful, they were told, as far as participation from students throughout the county. They also have the summer feeding program right now at the high school, at Porter, Central Elementary, and at Flat Gap, and they're looking for other locations to add throughout the summer. With some final comments from Board Chairman Bob Hutchinson in regards to what was to be today's vote on the nickel tax proposed by the Johnson County School District. approved in 2014, the school district has been collecting that 5% tax, but placing it in an escrow in lieu of the petition that was brought forth by several citizens and the subsequent vote, which is today, for voters to decide as to whether or not to keep that tax, a tax that the school district says is vital to making improvements in education and security.
On behalf of the board, I'd like to say thank you for everything that all of you have done this year to make the experience of learning better for our students. I'd ask that you go out and get your family members to vote tomorrow. And of course, I'm going to ask that you vote for the kids. And I not only ask, but I beg you to vote for the kids. We've got some things out there that need to be done. And we are on the eve of the biggest moment for this school system. We, as a school system, we, as keepers of the students, need this vote tomorrow for the betterment of our system and the educational experience of our students. Not only today, but tomorrow and in the future. Security is one issue. If you're concerned about the education of kids, children in our county, and those moving into our county, and those that are yet in this county that might be moving here, security is an issue that we have to address in a big way, especially at the high school. If you want your kids and your children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews to have a better experience, enhanced educational experience, enhanced safety, we need for you to vote for the children. Some of you remember a fellow that retired here many years ago, Andy Blanton. Andy, I'd like to say, was head of security. I'm not sure what his title was, but Andy had brought things to the forefront before it was even talked about. And so every time we talk about security at the high school, I think of Andy Blanton. So I'd like to make our high school as secure as possible in honor of Andy Blanton's works over the years. But we need the vote tomorrow for the betterment of the kids. I ask and beg you to go out tomorrow. Get your family, get your spouses, get your neighbors, and anybody else to vote. And hopefully we can move our school system forward for a global economy.
The tax has a long history already in the past couple of years, and it's been accruing, but it's not gone anywhere. After the tax was approved, challenged by petitioners, the courts decided that it should go to another vote after it was approved by voters the first time around. With that nickel tax, as was used by the McGoffin County School District, as is used commonly by school districts to raise bonding potential, that nickel 5% basically on property taxes would raise for Johnson County with the match by the state more than $800,000 a year, and they can use that for bonding potential to pay back loans in greater amounts, millions of dollars to be spent, says the Board of Education, on the district facilities, specifically so far renovating current facilities and building a new Johnson County High School. Polls are just now closing. We'll have the results for you on tomorrow night's program. A great deal of news to cover, but right now a great deal of things happening real quickly. Let's turn over and find out what's happening on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. And let me say this, I am 99.9, I do this often, 99.99% sure I had a birthday or an anniversary announcement coming yesterday, and I have looked through all sources that it may have came, and I can't find it. So at any time, should you send me an announcement, it does not get on the program. Tell me about it until it does, and let me know about the one. I may not have even missed one, but I'm relatively sure, I'm pretty sure, that there was one that came in yesterday via Facebook, email, or something that I can't locate that was supposed to be aired. Nevertheless, I do have these announcements correctly even tonight, brought to you once again by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Memorial Day is reunion time, and the Salyer family reunion is this Saturday at the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center, and a covered dish is appreciated. 1 to 6 this Saturday for the, I misspelled Salyer. I got dish and appreciated connected there. Is it still Monday? The Salyer family reunion this Saturday at Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in downtown Sagersville. The Fletcher, I'm doing a spell check now as I look at the Fletcher family reunion, is this Saturday as well in the Ramey Park at 1 o'clock. This is a potluck dinner. Please please bring a dish or dessert with you if you can. They're going to have pulled pork there. And if you have any questions, family, you can contact Garlina Workman or Pansy Deaton. The Fletcher family reunion this Saturday, 1 at the Ramey Park. And the Sayersville all-class reunion. If you went to Sayersville High School any time between 37 and 1979 for any amount of time, they hope that you'll join them for a big reunion, and it lasts from 3 to 10:30 this Saturday at North McGoffin Elementary. They're going to have a dinner, a DJ, it's casual dress, and it's free. Please join them. Remember to mark your calendar for this Saturday. They hope to see you there, that being everyone from Sayersville High School. You can take a tour and have some lunch after. They're having an extension open house at the McGoffin County Extension Service. It's not this Thursday, but next. I'll remind you more about it in a few days. Meet the staff, take a tour, and after the open house, they're going to have lunch and presentations beginning at noon. Now, the McGoffin County Schools Summer Feeding Program starts on the 5th in just a few days next week. And I'm going to be hard-pressed to try to get all of the sites in and the times, but I'll do the entire announcement a few times. As you can see, there are just so many sites that I can't even put the times on there. So in a day or two, just kind of have your pencils ready. I'll go through each site individually and their times again. I'll do it as a story during the program. But at North McGoffin Elementary, Sayersville Grade School, South McGoffin, the Licking River Baptist Center, the old Royalton School, the Royalton United Baptist Church, College Heights Apartments, Allen Drive Apartments, Mountain Parkway Trailer Park, the Ramey Park, Mash Fork at the Johnson Mobile Home Park, the Falcon Trailer Park at Adams Lane, and the South McGoffin and North McGoffin Fire Departments and the North McGoffin Park as well are all sites where they'll be having summer lunches for McGoffin County students, free anytime from 11 till 12 o'clock, different times at different places. And I'll go through that list with each time coming up later on this week. For now, if you have a birthday or anniversary and you'd like it included on our calendar announcements, as well as an announcement, mail, email, Facebook, phone, fax, drop it off at their newsroom. Any way you can get it to us, tell me. We'll tell everyone about it. And now turning to funeral service announcements, Robin Shepard, 46, of Hueysville, passed away on Sunday. The daughter of Anthony Harpo Castle of Martin and Darla Bentley Bradley of Johnson County. She survived as well by her husband, Mark Shepard, and children, Christopher Kyle Shepard, Alexandria K. Thornsberry, Zachary Luke Shepard, Nicholas Mark Shepard, Brianna Castle, Blake Castle, and Devin Castle of Hueysville, all of Hueysville. Services are going to be held this Friday at 1 o'clock from the Hueysville Church of Christ, while services will follow visitation that begins after 6 this evening and continues all day tomorrow at the Nelson Frazier Funeral Home. And 32-year-old Jason Howard of Sayersville passed away Saturday in Michigan. Arrangements are still incomplete, but to be announced soon by the Sayersville Funeral Home. And my apologies, I'm not quite sure what glitch we have there with our characters there, but obviously a few fonts there have kind of messed up. My apologies for that. Nevertheless, we'll have more news in just a moment. I got to spend some time yesterday morning with some members of the Royalton Trailtown Committee, as you're about to see in the following report, and why. But I wanted to make note of something else. It was during a conversation that several of them noted that they had already noticed on their own behalves that they have witnessed what they believe is more activity on the trail this year to date than all of last year completely. So a sign that more people are using it to bike, walk, horseback ride. And we're, of course, hoping that those numbers are going to continue to increase, certainly when the tunnel in the middle is fixed and it's no longer blocking one half from the other. But nevertheless, it was a good sign and a good comment to hear. As this is a good story, when you're on the Dawkins Trail next time and you saddle your bike up to a bike rack, you'll be pleased to know where it came from and whose hands made it via this report from the McGoffin County High School Career and Technical Center and some very accomplished welding students. It's a story of the outstanding work and excellent display of the skills and community involvement of the welding students at the McGoffin County Career and Technical Center, who sadly were already out for the summer yesterday during this interview with Vince Minix and Rodney Whitaker, as well as members of the Royalton Trailtown Committee as they checked out their new and super sturdy, dare I say indestructible, bike racks to be donated to the Dawkins Trail.
Last year, this welding class at the vocational school, they made one bike rack rack for us, and it went at the Royalton Trailhead. And in the past, this school has also been, the vocational school has been involved with the project of doing electricity in the bottom electrical class. Mr. Minnick's Vince, he is liaison on the Royalton Trailtown Committee with the school system, and we work closely with him and Mr. Whitaker. We got the pipe donated from a gas company, and it's been a joint. Royalton Trailtown has coordinated the project, but also the tourism in Paintsville, Kentucky has paid for the rebars. We will have the park system cement these bike racks in the ground so they can't be stolen. We have plans next year for the class. Mr. Mix and I've talked about it, Mr. Whitaker, doing some critter control garbage cans that is really needed on the trail. And this will be another project, and will be involving another company that we've been told will donate the metal.
It was a project that, as you can probably very well imagine, was both rewarding and educational for students and for their teacher, Mr. Rodney Whitaker.
It's a challenge. Rebar is always challenging, welding in different positions, 1G, 2G, 3G. All the welders know what that terminology means. All the safety issues as far as sharp objects, anything that could nick or cut any of the bike riders was concerned with us also. So they learned a lot and had a good time making the bike racks. They enjoy the projects more so than the basic welding of different types of welds and different rods.
Yeah, it's great. They're learning. They give them back to the community. They're learning their trade. They know that quality means something, because their name is going to be on this bike rack for the rest of their life. And when they maybe ride a bike in a few years and say, "Hey, I helped build that," this will be part of their lives as much as yours. And it's all within the curriculum, with the welding curriculum. These students, a lot of them were juniors that did this welding, so they will take what they've learned here, they'll take their welding certification test next year.
And rain from this point further. Let's start with the most exciting of the two, and that is track and field, where a special recognition goes out to a McGoffin County High School student who finished the 300-meter hurdles in just a tick over 51.5 seconds at the state championship. That's a 300-meter hurdles, 51.6 seconds. Is that fast? That sounds fast to me. Apparently it is. Reagan Crace finished 13th in the entire state of Kentucky, according to track and field coach Tanya Ward, who says that she had an outstanding performance this Saturday at the KHSAA Track and Field State Championship. Yes, 300-meter hurdles, 51.6 seconds. A sincere congratulations for a performance not just well done, but most excellently done by McGoffin County High School's own Reagan Crace. Congratulations. Now let's talk 57th District Tournament action and baseball and softball, with baseball beginning tonight. Yes, still, I believe, to begin tonight. I spoke with Athletic Director Neil West just a few moments ago. He said they've had a tarp on the field all day at Johnson Central to thwart off all the rain, and that one way or the other they were going to do their very best to get those games in tonight. That was the first game. It's 5:30. I don't know if it started on time or not, but that was Central and Sheldon Clark, and then McGoffin County and Paintsville playing in Game 2 at 7:30. Right now it's back up because rain was not an issue for the ladies last night in fast-pitch softball. In Game 1, Central pretty much walked over Paintsville 10-0, I believe was the final score. And Johnson Central will now move on to tomorrow night's championship and is assured a spot in the regional tournament. As for Game 2 last night, it was McGoffin County versus Sheldon Clark. They'd met one time in the regular season, with McGoffin County coming out on top by 1 run. And it was the first batter up last night, I believe, that got things started for McGoffin County. First to the plate, first to get a hit, first to get things rolling for McGoffin County. Kennedy Stacy with a double to center field. And a very alert Stacy would be safe at third with a stolen bag. And it's Stacy. And on another throw, safe at home, head first, off a bad pitch. McGoffin County scoring 1 run in the first. And McGoffin County holding Sheldon Clark scoreless in the first inning with this play at first base. Alexis Montgomery then gets under one, high and out, and bats in Samantha Black from third as McGoffin County scores 2 runs in the third inning. And the Lady Hornets pick up 3 runs in the 4th with this smack off of Stacy's bat, sending 2 runners home. With a final score of 6-4 for Magoffin County last night, that means they'll take on Central tomorrow night in the championship round, weather permitting. I also just got a text from Neil West, and they have moved tonight's games up an hour. Hopefully they'll still be able to get them in. I'll let you know tomorrow. There's what we're looking at this evening. Showers are becoming more scattered, if you will, and isolated. Nevertheless, we're going to see them pick up in intensity, and I do mean intensity tomorrow. I'm running over, so let me just suffice it to say tonight we will see a low of around 57. Scattered showers early tomorrow, but then by tomorrow afternoon and evening we'll see showers, possibly thunderstorms. This pattern rolls on through tomorrow, probably into most of your Thursday as well. Friday we'll see the sun come out, upper 70s. It will be brief. Then another wet, rainy, possibly stormy pattern rolls in for your weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and I don't see much change from that pattern throughout next week. That's my time. Thank you for being a part of it. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.